Right, we're at the NZB National Weanling Sales. Great to be catching up with Ken Breckon for a very random chat this will be, but welcome, Ken.
Yeah, welcome, Paul.
What a great day it is, and something very new. We've actually got a lot of the thoroughbreds out being inspected behind us, only because the standardbreds are around the corner and just where we set up. But it's a fabulous concept, I reckon, from NZB. Numbers are down, so to incorporate both, I think it's just great, and it's going to be really good tomorrow.
Yeah, look, I think so. I expressed this to a few people. It'll be interesting to see how the sale goes, but hopefully there'll be some cross-pollination. I've been told to keep away from the thoroughbreds, but look, you just never know.
That's bad. That is very bad. That little smirk that you're one of your little tells that you give away. So it is something. In all seriousness, myself and Marie were lucky enough to be out at your beautiful property on Monday. Still raving about the lunch, and it was a chicken roll. Anyone wondering? But it was just outstanding. But it's something that you've been very keen on when you opened the place. You had a lot of these guys up there. It is the way of the future is to grow our sport. It's something that I'm passionate about and you are, and the best way to grow it is with like-for-like people, racing people, not thoroughbred people and standardbred people, racing people, and try and get them to cross-pollinate.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And later on in the year, actually after Kaikoura Cup, we're hosting the World Drivers there at the farm, and again, that's very exciting and great timing. We'll have all our yearlings in, so yeah, it is exciting, and that's the whole intention, is to lift the bar not only for standardbred racing but just for the whole industry. And look, we're doing that, and it's happening already. So it's very exciting. You know, we've had a number of the thoroughbred guys down there, so yeah, and hopefully we'll see more of it.
It's a pretty simple concept when you think about it. Like everyone says, how do we grow the industry? Well, our closest, almost relatives, if you like the thoroughbred people, they're the easiest people to get access to because they love the horses. So, the number one reason we're all in standardbreds, no one's in it to get rich or anything like that. It's because we love the horses, and so do the thoroughbred guys, and then they love the racing component of it as well. But it's the love of the horse that draws so many people, and it's a ready-made market of people there. And this sort of concept, they'll be looking to get some standardbred. There'll be some people trying to get you into a thoroughbred, and rightfully so. Good luck to them, and if they can do that, good luck to them. I think that's smart marketing. But there'll be enough standardbred guys out there trying to get some of these thoroughbred guys into a horse as well.
Yeah, well, look, absolutely. And looking at the calibre of the book, both Woodlands and Alabar, their weanlings are outstanding on pedigree. Some very, very good fillies this year, and I think anyone that's looking to get into the breeding game, here's their opportunity.
Yep, and you're just looking then at Breckon Farms. There's a little bit of intrigue this year with the sale as well, so people need to come down and have a look at the drafts, because there is. It was one thing I heard last night. Oh, you're not getting rid of your rubbish, was one of the thoroughbred guys said to one of the trotting guys, and he's like, no, these are horses that people can pinhook. They can take away in the breeding barn, they can race. There's a huge opportunity with all these weanlings. Yeah,
I mean, just great having Breckon Farms here. I mean, you only have to look at the pedigrees. They're outstanding and definitely not second rate at all. And I've already had a quick look at them. You know my love of the harness, so I applaud them coming here. And it's great that I know they're bringing a few mares across for breeding, and it's going to help our numbers. I mean, we're desperate for numbers, particularly up north. I'd love to see another 100 horses here, so in the North Island. But and we'll get there. But it is great, and great to see Aussies coming over.
We've got to stay positive. That's the one thing we've got to do. Remiss of me, lot 1081 for the standardbred people, lot 81 basically, but 1081 is a yearling by Art Major out of Linda Lovegrace. I just seen him go past. If I'm smart enough, I'll put one of the photos that the girls from Alabar looked after you and got him off the truck. I think Nigel's still tucked up in bed somewhere, they tell me, but no, he's not. He got held up a little bit, but Nigel's on his way. One beautiful colt.
Yeah, again, that's quite funny because we purchased Linda Lovegrace here again at the weanling sale. So we've had pretty good success here. We've bought two from Woodlands. One, as I said, Linda Lovegrace, and then the second one was Party On, and she went on to make on the track about $500,000. So it's been very good to us, the weanling sales. Yeah, so, and hopefully we'll have another crack this year. I'll have a look at some of the weanlings, but this colt here was probably was going to be one of our top lots last year at the sales, and unfortunately he bumped a ligament. Nothing major, just unfortunately the leg there was a bit of swelling in the leg, and we had to put him aside. But he's outstanding, and I would think he'd probably fetch good money today out of a Group 1 winning mare.
Yeah, exactly. And it's quite funny how our brains work. Anyone wondering, Ken and I were talking before, and he said, I bought another one from the weanling sales, and he couldn't remember it. And it's come to you just then, it was Linda Lovegrace. So it's amazing how it does work, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's an old girlfriend of mine. But anyway.
Hello, Karen.
Look, it's very, very exciting. And as I said, odd for us to have one here. We don't have, obviously, weanlings in, but last year we had a colt that had been injured just prior to the sales, the yearling sales, and look, he fetched 80,000. He was out of Spandau Ballet, so very close up to King of Swing, which obviously the Aussies know very, very well. So, but as I say, I would expect this sale to be very strong, and as I said, anyone that's looking for a filly, probably this is the place to buy today.
You go. Marie and I came over, as I said, we went to lunch, and we came up with the idea of the Breckon family, and it's quite interesting. You were saying to me just then, you've had a little bit of feedback from a couple of other guys. It's quite unique. I think it's a different way of almost promoting our sport. And I said to you the reception from Todd Mitchell's interview and Dylan and Joe Ferguson, and I think it's a great idea. You guys always continually try to evolve and think outside the square at Breckon Farms, don't you? Yeah,
look, we do, and it's been really neat that we've had the likes of Shane Sanderson. He's been over with some of his crew, and I know they had a great time at the farm. But it's good doing that because, as I said, we want to showcase it. But it is like the Breckon family, and it's great. We have repeat buyers. We're very honest with our draft, and I'd like to think we're right up the very, very top end, and we'll remain there. So our whole idea is to improve our brood mares, and as you know, we buy a lot of those. If we don't breed them ourselves, we're not afraid to buy them off the track. So I think you got to put a stake in the ground and say, what are we trying to do? It's no different to business. Where do you want to be? And so we've gone for the top end, and it'd be fair to say we needed to lift the bar even with our facilities, and hence we built the barn. And that's what we're hoping today, so we'll just continue to do that.
You're improving your footprint, if you like, in Australia. It is a brand that's well known, and I think a lot of the big players probably know who Breckon Farms is, but you want to get it out to someone who was Shane Sanderson, who maybe 3-4 years ago, prior to sales, you may never have heard of. And they come across here and spent, I think it was $170,000 on a beautiful colt, and we'll touch on him in a minute. But that's what you want to be able to do, is actually extend that out and get a bigger footprint in Australia.
Yeah, and what's wonderful, Shane's invited Karen and I across, and we're going across to watch him in the 2-year-old slot race. We're over
July.
I think it's Saturday week. I think it's earlier, isn't it? I'm wrong again.
Yep.
Well, anyway, we're going over. So we're going over to watch him, and we're lucky enough to have Ribeiro over there, which again we bred. We're a quarter share. We retain a quarter share in him, and he's over there for obviously Redcliffe Derby.
He goes around Saturday night. Saturday night, drawn 1, I think.
Yeah, drawn 1. So and then he's in the other. What's the big race following? The week after, Rising Sun, and then again we'll back up for the Queensland Derby. So he's good, and of course the other one we got over there is a very good trotter, bet and win. So unfortunately he got crooked last year. I think a bad stone bruise and abscess in the foot. So I'd like to think he'll do very well in the Inter-Dominion. So there'll be a big crew. It's quite a big syndicate. So just Brisbane to turn the weather on, and plenty of 4X, and life will be beautiful.
And a 4X, look at you go.
And a good win.
And a good win. You had me a bit worried then when you said unfortunately. I'm thinking, don't tell me he's going to miss again. But no, last year. But he was awesome last week. David and Stapes do an outstanding job with him. And he's a very progressive horse. So, and we want more people then to come back here for the weanling sales. We want more people to come back here for the yearling sales as well, continuing to buy horses. And my argument is your closest neighbour for you guys here is Australia. I think we should be one. There's a few little things we've got to iron out, I think, between the two governing bodies there, but I think try and run it as one and make our sport bigger and better and grander, if you like.
Well, look, of course we stole your best. I mean, having Brad Steele over here now running the ship for HRNZ has been a revelation. He's done a wonderful job in a very, very short time, and been very progressive. Some of the ideas, some of the things they got in place now are just fantastic. And I'd be remiss not to mention Entain. What they've done for us over here with stakes is just outstanding. And you could not. It wouldn't be a better time to buy a horse today. I mean, it's the stakes. Look, you just get dizzy with them. It's hard to sort of. I think some of these trainers are still struggling where to place these horses because $100,000 races seem to be dime a dozen. So it's very exciting, and I think the industry has turned the page, and we're on the up.
Do we have to be a bit careful not to cannibalise ourselves by putting too many of them on and stretching maybe the product a bit thin, while numbers are still on the smallish side?
Yeah, look, there's a bit of that. I mean, I think the biggest worry for us is still up here in the North Island, and struggling to get 10 races. We need to be having 10 races both on, say, a Tuesday, Thursday night, and on a Friday night. And the initiative, the Friday with Lights, or whatever it's called. It's just outstanding having both Addington and the North Island, Alexander Park going head to head. A little bit what they've done, like they've done with the thoroughbreds in Australia. With Victoria and New South Wales going head to head on a Saturday. So I think again, great idea, but just need to have more horses in the North Island.
That's why we need people here buying these weanlings, racing them. Send the fillies to stud, keep the boys racing. Don't sell them to the Aussies, keep them and race for these $100,000 races plus, and continue it that way. It's a pretty simple formula, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it is a simple. But I just looked last night, and meeting in Menangle, half the field, were Kiwi horses. So there's still, again, there must be a shortage of horses in Aussie as well. But it's trying to retain them, and I would think with the way stakes are going, maybe trainers will consider leaving the horses here in New Zealand. Look, I'm not sure, and I think HRNZ, they're playing around with the handicaps, trying to sort them out. Some of those have been a little bit tough, but they seem to be getting them right. But we definitely need a lot more horses staying in New Zealand.
Absolutely. Thanks, mate. We could talk to you forever. As always, I am paid to promote Breckon Farms. It's a very easy product. When you said you stole the best, I thought you were going to talk about me, but then you went to Brad Steele. I was disappointed. But no, you also stole Brittany Graham, I think. So I think she might be a wee bit better than me, but that's okay. But I do appreciate Campbell's comments, appreciate you guys. I think anyone wants to understand how to run a business in harness racing, they should come and see you, because the reason we did the Breckon family is because forward planning. It's not just something that's on a whim. There's a group of people coming up with the ideas, and I think these sorts of things, there's going to be a lot more things coming out from me, from Breckon Farms, but also from you guys as well. And I think that's the one thing the whole industry needs to do, is have a look at the professionals that are in it, not just yourselves. There's so many, and take a leaf out of their books.
Look, Paul, we welcome anyone that would like to visit us. Anyone wants to give me a call or Nigel a call. If we can assist in any way, look, we're more than happy to do so, and because we just want this industry to prosper. And as I said before, I think we're going in the right direction, but there's still improvement.
Ken, thank you very much, mate, and as always, thank you so much for your hospitality.
And thanks, Paul. We do rate you very highly.
Not quite as high as Brad.
Well, not as good looking as Brad. Brittany Graham, but Ben, anyway,
I'm hurt by that.
You're doing your best. You're doing your best.
Thanks, mate.